All right, guys, I think everyone should be able to hear me now. All righty. So we're just going to get set up. Everyone, for the end of this little movement break, you are all going to need a place to sit so that you can do some sit to stand work. So a bed, a chair, anything that's stable that you're not going to fall backwards on. And we're going to get started really soon. You guys just heard all about how important exercise is, so it's time to actually do it. So we're going to get started in just a minute. I'll make sure everyone can see me here. You know, you can see my little gym space right now, but not my face, but I will get there in just a second. Okay. All right, guys. So I'm going to sit back here so you can see me as I trip on my box. So I have a chair here. I'm going to try and show you guys some seated versions of the exercises and some standing versions. So I'm going to be popping back and forth and back and forth. And I think this is a little narrower than it looked before. So I'm going to tilt it down just a tad so you can see my floor here. It's a little closer in than it was before. So I think you guys can see me there pretty close, right? So we are going to do a very quick 10-minute movement break today, and I'm going to show you how in 10 minutes you can get your heart rate up, get your intensity up, get some interval training in, and do some cognitive training in combination with your exercises. So that is a very full 10 minutes, right? So what you need for this 10 minutes, like I said, is somewhere to sit for the end. If you are not comfortable doing exercises in standing, then you can do all these exercises in seated. And again, I'll pop back and forth to show you the difference. But at the end, everyone's going to need a quick place to sit for some sit to stand cognitive exercises. If you feel dizzy or unwell at any time when you are doing this, please take a break. Make sure you have water nearby because hopefully you will need it. You guys, many of you know who I am, but I am a physiotherapist and I have a special interest and expertise in working with Parkinson's, and I run a Parkinson's specific clinic here in Vancouver. So this is my passion, this is what I love to do, and I'm very excited to get you guys moving. So we're going to start right into it. We're going to get moving at high amplitude and high intensity. So get ready, everyone, stand up. I can't see you guys at all, but I'm used to this with Zoom now, so we're going to assume you're all doing it with me. So we're going to start with some marching and finger flicking to the sky. We're going to do each of these exercises as a warm-up for 40 seconds each, and then we'll get into a very little mini interval session. All right, so we're going to start with some marches. You're going to take your hands to your chest, and you're going to flick them all the way up to the sky. I want your fingers to be nice and wide when they open, like I could shoot arrows between each of your fingers. So you're going to march and reach those fingers up to the sky. Okay, if you're seated, looks like this, marching, flick your fingers up to the sky. All right, off we go. 40 seconds on the clock. March and reach. March and reach. Nice big fingers. We're just getting our bodies moving a little bit. I want you to think about how you feel at the start of this session, and then we'll see how you feel 10 minutes from now. You can actually get a surprising amount done in 10 minutes, right? You guys all, like I said, learned how important that intensity is. So let's actually put our actions, make our bodies do what we've learned now, right? Time to put everything into action and get moving. That's it. So just warming up, big fingers. Then we're going to start moving into some side leaning and knee bends in just a second, and I will show you how to do that standing and seated. So we're going to do a little sit back, reach all the way up and over to one side, little sit back, all the way up and over to the other. So squat and reach, squat and reach. Big stretch over to one side, big stretch over to the other. In seated, you're just going to bring your bum forward to the front of the chair. You're going to bend over to one side, up, over to the other. All right, here we go. Ready, set, and go. So squat and reach, squat and reach. When you're doing these squats, you want to make sure that your heels stay down on the ground. So drive those heels down. You don't have to bend too far down since we're just getting warm, but you want to start getting those legs a little bit active. Big stretch over to one side, bend, big stretch over to the other. You can use the opposite hand to push your hips over one way as you reach to get a big stretch through the side. One of those areas that we know gets really rigid and tight in Parkinson's. So big stretches over. Again, if you're seated, same thing, shifting your weight onto one side of your bum as you reach over, shifting your weight to the other. All right, one more warm-up exercise. So we're going to do something called reciprocal step backs. Reciprocal means opposite arm to opposite leg. This is a really, really, really important pattern in Parkinson's. It starts to get lost, so we're going to practice it. So you're going to step back, opposite hand to opposite leg, step back, hand to leg, step back, hand to leg, step back, hand to leg. Okay, we're going to keep that reciprocal pattern. If you're able to do that, you can turn it into a little hop switch if you're feeling a little warm now, but if you can't hop, don't worry. If you're seated, you're going to get nice and tall. One foot's going to sneak behind you, opposite hand to knee, okay? Other foot sneaks behind you, opposite hand to knee. I know I get a bit cut off here, but you want to stick your foot way back behind the chair, opposite hand to opposite knee, switch, switch. Okay, here we go. Ready, set, go. Opposite hand to opposite knee, stepping, jumping, or seated. There's a question about, what if I can't do a lot of aerobic activity? Is it worth it? Just like Matt said, yes, absolutely. Something is always, always, always better than nothing, right? So even if you can only do 5 or 10 minutes, start there, and then you might be surprised how much better things get once you start actually doing that a little bit, right? Always, always, always we say participation, not perfection. You don't have to do everything perfectly. And if your goal is to do 30 minutes eventually, you can start at 2 minutes. You can start at 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever works for you to start. And you got to have a starting point and go from there. Good. Well done. So hopefully your heart rate's a little bit higher now. We're getting a little warmer. We're going to do a mini interval session here. So what we're going to do is 2 exercises broken up with a little break to breathe. Okay. So we're going to do a lunge and overhead turn. You're going to get 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. I'm going to bend the camera a little bit for you because I'm not using my arms as much for this one, so you can see the floor. 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. Okay. You're going to twist over top of that front leg to get some trunk rotation. This is going to challenge your balance. You're also going to turn your head. And what that's going to do is challenge your visual fixation. So it's going to be a nice balance challenge, nice trunk rotation in combination with that reciprocal pattern. Lots of things all in one. Hop and switch. So up, hop and switch. Turning my head as I go. We're going to try and do it into a nice hop, similar to what we did in warm-up, but we're getting a little bit more of a bend in that back knee. Okay, if you're seated, same thing. Over and rotate, turn your head. You want to get your bum to the edge of the chair and see if you can really lean forward as you do that. All right? So that's our first exercise. I'll show you the next one when we get there for our recovery, and we'll keep going from there. Ready? Set. Off we go. So stepping, working on that balance, or jumping. If you can jump, I want you jumping because we want to get into that nice high intensity range. Turning your head as you go. If you start to feel dizzy or short of breath, just stop and rest for a second and then get back in when you're ready. All right, nice big movements. Crossing over, rotating my trunk, and turning my head. That's it. There's always adaptations and levels, right? If something doesn't work for you, then we figure out an adaptation. Make sure you can still do the exercise, just in a little bit of a different way. That's it, guys. You should be starting to feel really warm now. Recovery, you're going to do toe taps, seated or standing. We're going to take 15 seconds just to recover before the next exercise. Tap those toes, lifting them up, working on getting rid of that kind of dragging foot that we get during Parkinson's sometimes. Big toe taps. All right, the next exercise, guys, they're called turtles to stars. We're going to get our feet narrow, tuck our body in, nice and tight, and then we're going to step or jump out into a big, huge star, come back down. So your hands are going to come big and wide, feet come big and wide, and back down. Seated, same thing, tuck tight, open up big, tuck tight, open up big. Here we go, ready, set, go. Big jump, back down, big, small. Okay, we're really working on amplitude and intensity here, getting that nice wide to narrow stance. Challenge that balance, getting all these big functional movements that you're going to need to function better in your daily life. Big stretch out. If you can't jump, you just step, tiny, tiny, big, big. I know my hands are getting cut off, but you want big, wide fingers there. Keep going, guys. You should be feeling that in 10 minutes, you can get pretty tired. Okay, keep it up. You got 3, 2, 1. Good, toe taps. Tap those toes. Good work. Let that breath come down a little bit. Very nice. We're going to go back to the beginning. Same exercises one more time through. and then we'll finish with a cognitive one, okay? Doing great, guys. You should be huffing and puffing, right? My favorite saying is, if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. So this is supposed to be hard. Back to the beginning. Rotate over. Bend that knee a little bit more this time. Turning your head. If you're seated, same idea. Right at the edge of your chair. One leg back. Rotate over. Turn your head as you go. Here we go. Ready, set, go. Big turn. Drop that back knee a little more this time. Now that we're nice and warm and getting that heart rate up, getting that intensity high. That's it. Good work, guys. So with respect to cognition and exercise, which we're going to get to in just a minute, we know that ramping up that aerobic system is a really, really great time to do that cognitive training. It has a really great impact when we start training your cognition when your aerobic system is already active and working. So we're going to do that today. I'm going to show you how. One example of many, okay? Good work. Toe taps. Almost there, guys. That's it. Nice toe taps. Recover. Big deep breath in and exhale. And again, big deep breath and exhale. Good work. We're going to go into those turtles to stars. Okay? Here we go. Last 40 seconds of your interval training, and then we'll get to our cognition. Ready, set, go. Turtle, star, seated or standing, right? You can do this seated, no problem. Stepping or jumping, whichever version works for you. As long as you're working hard, that's what matters. That's it, guys. Come on. Big stretch. We can't just talk about exercise all day, right? We got to do it. It's hard work, it takes effort, but it pays off in the long run. That's it. Keep it up. Big stretches. You got it, guys. And rest, toe taps. Last time, lift those toes way up off the ground. Lift your chest, get your balance. Good work. Very nicely done, guys. Okay, everyone should be plenty warm and sweaty by now. We're going to finish with a cognitive and physical challenge. So what we're going to do is everyone's going to grab a place to sit. We're going to do what we call a sit to stand test. So I'm going to time you for 30 seconds, and you're going to see how many times you can get from sitting to standing. Maybe that's once, maybe that's 10, who knows, okay? Whatever works for you. I'm resetting my timer here. So 30 second sit to stand test. If you can do it without using your hands, please do. If you need your hands, then use them. All right. If you start to feel dizzy, anything like that, stop and rest. Please make sure your chair is stable. So I don't want it to slide back on you when you go to sit. You're going to sit down, stand up as many times as you can in 30 seconds. I'm going to time you. You're going to count, and I'm going to try and zip it for 30 seconds so you can focus on counting, okay? Here we go, 30 seconds, everyone ready? I'm gonna take that as a yes because I can't hear any of you. So sitting on your chair, ready, set, go. 30 seconds, as many times as you can. Nice and quick up and down. That's it, keep counting, count for yourself or get somebody to count for you. Remember that number. Keep going, guys, up and down, nice and quick, fast as you can. You got it. Come on, 3, 2, 1, good, rest. Remember your number, so write it down or yell it to somebody so they can remember it for you. Last thing we're gonna do today is a 30-second sit to stand with a cognitive component added. So what this looks like is like this. You're gonna stand up. Every time you stand up, you're gonna name an animal, starting with the letter A and moving through the alphabet. So I'll show you what this looks like. And then when I'm timing you, I'm gonna zip it because it's gonna be really confusing if I'm yelling out animals at the same time. So it looks like this: alligator, bear, crab, dog, okay? Now you can't use any of those. You're going through the alphabet. And we're going to count how many sit to stands you do at the same time. So last 30 seconds. Here we go. Ready, set, go. Yelling out your animals. I can't hear you, but somebody at home should be able to hear you nice and loud. See how fast you can go. That's it, guys. Working your way through the alphabet. Make those brains think fast. 10 seconds. Come on. Get a few more in. 2, 1, rest. Very well done, guys. So 10 minutes, hopefully your heart rates are up. You can see that you can get a lot done in 10 minutes. Thank you for exercising with me today. One of the things you might have noticed in that sit to stand is that when you start working your brain, your body movements get slower. So that's a really, really important thing to train, because dual tasking in Parkinson's is so important in keeping us safe, avoiding falls, all those different things, okay? Very well done today, guys. Thanks for joining me. I will send it back to Jean so you guys can keep on listening to these wonderful presenters. And if you have any questions for me, feel free to get in touch via email, and I think probably the link is on there. Right.
Wonderful, very stimulating. I did them all except for the last animal one, and it was exercise. But 15 minutes, Naomi. So now we're a little bit behind.